All right, this is a proportion problem, and in this problem we will end up getting a quadratic equation that we're going to have to factor. So let's see it. We're going to cross multiply. So here's my equal sign. On one side it's going to be negative 8 times a minus 3, and on the other side will be a times a minus 6. So negative 8 times a minus 3 equals a times a minus 6. Now let's distribute. Negative 8 times a is negative 8a. Negative 8 times negative 3. Negative times negative is a positive 24. And on the right-hand side, a times a is a squared, and a times negative 6 is negative 6a. Now this is a quadratic equation. It's quadratic because I have this square right here. So to solve a quadratic equation, first step is to get one side equal to 0 with the smiley face. So let's go ahead and do that. I want to get this side equal to 0. So I need to get rid of a negative 8a. And if I add 8a, they will cancel out. And I also want to get rid of a plus 24. So I will subtract 24. Those will cancel out and give me a 0. Now if I add 8a to the left-hand side, I need to add 8a to the right-hand side. And if I subtract 24 from the left-hand side, I need to subtract 24 from the right-hand side. Now look what happens. Negative 8a plus 8a is 0. 24 minus 24 is 0. Now the left-hand side doesn't disappear. I still need to bring down my equal sign. And on the left-hand side, I will have a 0, which is exactly what I want for a quadratic. On the right-hand side, I have a squared plus 2a minus 24. Okay, factor. I'm going to factor this thing right here. So 0 equals, it's an easy 1 factoring. My leading coefficient is a 1. So this will be a and a. Two numbers that multiply to give me 24 and subtract to give me 2. And that's 6 and 4. Plus 6 minus 4. And now I will set all of my factors equal to 0. A plus 6 equals 0. And a minus 4 equals 0. Okay, quadratics, you're expecting two answers. You may not get both of them, or any of them. But the idea is that if this thing is 0, 0 times anything is 0. And if this thing is 0, anything times 0 is 0. So you set all your factors equal to 0. We will subtract 6 on both sides so that a equals 0 minus 6 is negative 6. One of our possible answers. We're going to add 4 to both sides so that a equals 0 plus 4 is 4. One of our possible answers. So go back and make sure that neither one of these will give you a 0 in your original problem in the denominator. And if I plugged in a negative 6 right here, I'd be okay. Negative 6 minus 3 is negative 9. If I plugged it in right here, negative 6 minus 6 is negative 12. So this one checks out. If I plugged in a 4 right here, 4 minus 3 is 1, that's okay. If I plugged in a 4 right here, 4 minus 6 is negative 2, that's okay. As long as it's not a 0, because you can never have 0 in the denominator. So, in the computer, it will likely want you to enter your answer separated by a comma, and that's what it would look like.